Hey, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And welcome to
Opinions.
and today is Tuesday.
Oh, did you say Earth Day?
Is it Earth? No, it ain't no Earth Day, girl. Today is
Oh,
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Oh, I thought you said Earth Day.
It's Tuesday and it's 5 o'clock. And it's a
Yes.
beautiful day outside. And my name is Katie Lowe.
And I am Opinionated Lorie.
And girl, what we gonna talk about today? Oh,
Well,
wait a minute.
unfortunately, we had a guest lined up, our wonderful friend of the show, Brian Hendricks, and unfortunately, he had something that came up, so he won't be able to make it for this Tuesday. However, he's promised us that he will be on the show next Tuesday, and we look forward to hearing from him and just really getting just a good education on finance and stocks and bonds and all of that good stuff. So
He's gonna he's gonna educate us. I just feel bad that he couldn't make it today. And girl, listen, the weather is so nice. This little has been creating problems all day for me.
oh my goodness. Is that the ever fabulous Deja?
This is the ever fabulous Deja.
Oh my
And she
goodness.
has created a problem all day.
What did she
No,
do? What did my little Deja do?
your little Deja, when I've been out all day. I enjoyed the weather today. You know, I
Wow.
really did. A senior citizen out enjoying this beautiful weather. And so I took Deja with me, and she has on her little shirt that says, Mommy's little shopping buddy. And she acts so bad. She act bad. Is it the weather?
What? You know what? My dog, she was kind of cutting up today. I had to give her a snack because she wanted to be the center of attention. I'm just thinking like, even though I'm at home, I'm working, so I can only give her so much attention. So yeah, this it must be, spring is in the air. That could be it too. Maybe they're getting a little riled up,
Little antsy, huh?
a little antsy. I'm getting a little antsy too, so I can imagine.
I mean, girl, she listen. You remember that record, Back That Thing Up?
Oh yeah, I do. I
Uh-uh.
do.
Da 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 da, back the thing up. Girl, I was sitting up here working on something for Brian McLemore Smith
Yep.
and
In the
Deja
basement with Macklemore.
in the basement with
Mondays.
McLemore Mondays at 5. Deja backed her butt up on me, and she was serious. So
Oh,
I thought maybe she had to go use the bathroom. Nope.
uh-oh. Like I
So I thought,
said, spring is in the air.
is that what it is?
Yep.
I
Oh,
thought she wanted a snack. Nope. Guess what? She wanted to be in my lap.
oh my goodness.
Who sits around and holds a dog?
Oh gosh, yeah. Completely spoiled. And speaking of spring, I
Mm-hmm.
noticed the other day the rabbits are out. Have you been seeing rabbits by you?
Girl, let me tell you.
They're just all over the place. There was
Not
like two of them in the yard. I caught them backing that thing up as well.
not only are the rabbits out, the skunks are out.
Oh goodness. Well, they can stay in.
And I'm not talking about the two-legged. I'm talking about the real.
Ah,
I'm talking
they're
about
they're always out.
the two-legged one.
The
These are
two-legged
real,
ones.
but these are real skunks. These
Oh
are
my goodness.
real skunks. I guess they are what nocturnal. They've hibernated all winter.
Oh, okay, so they're starting to wake up as well. Oh my gosh.
Yes, and I'm scared of them.
Hmm. Well, yeah. I just don't want to get sprayed because dogs they can they'll, especially if they start chasing them, they'll spray the dog, and then I think you have to clean them in tomato juice or something. I always heard.
Girl, I don't know, but I know they stink. That's all I know. I used to not intentionally, but I've hit a few with the CTA bus when I was driving,
Oh my gosh.
especially if you work like Holman,
Hmm.
and you're going all the way up north. on Homer.
Oh, it's lots of forest preserves and stuff
Yes,
up there.
yes.
Yeah.
Skunks everywhere.
Oh
And
my
once
goodness.
you hit them with the bus, that scent lingers. And honey,
Oh,
you be out
it
there
gets on the
driving.
tires and in the bus.
But there's an advantage to hitting a skunk, though. Nobody wants to ride your bus.
No, I can't imagine you not wanting people ride the bus.
Just joke.
You're a people person.
But girl, listen, I wanted to go over on Madison Street today, but I didn't go.
Why not?
Girl, I was afraid of what I might see in this 60-degree weather.
Oh yeah, the hoochie mamas would have been out, and
Girl,
not just the hoochie
yeah.
mamas, and the hoochie daddies too. Let's be equal opportunity.
I tell you, girl, they be wearing what they call them hoochie cutters, cookie
Yep,
cutters.
that's what we used to call back in the day.
So
Ooh,
I said,
can we say that on our podcast?
I mean, we didn't say bad words, did we?
Right, that's true.
That's not bad word. Coochie cutter, hoochie mama, hoochie
Right,
daddy. That's
call it
not
what it is, girl.
bad word. But listen, what we going to talk about today? Since what was his name? Brian Hendricks
Yes.
with his fine self. Girl, did you say? Oh
Oh
Lord,
yeah, I went to high
girl,
school with Brian.
did you?
I did. I did.
Girl, I saw that picture and I said, Mr. Finance.
And
Honey,
not
he
only
more
is
than
he a finance
finance.
coach, he's
He more
also in
he more
sports
than
too.
finance. He walked down the street, he might look like some romance. Just joking, girl, just joking. Making conversation. I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way.
uh-huh. That's all right, Brian. He'll be on there next week to to speak to that.
But what we
But
gonna
hey,
talk
so
about?
what about this Jesse Smollett sentencing?
I just love me some Jesse Smollett.
Uh, I think we're gonna have a difference of opinion on that one.
Oh no.
I just,
You don't like Jesse Smollett. How
I
can you
used to like
not
him.
like him? How can you not like Jesse?
Actually, I when he first started on Empire, or actually, won't even say first started. Just during the whole duration before this whole madness happened with this faking a crime,
Mm-hmm.
um, I really admired him. I think he's a wonderful singer, wonderful actor. His background, coming from just kind of a civil justice sort of his whole family, they're involved in civil rights, his parents. They have a lot of connections and all that with just within the civil rights world. And I really respected him. But this fiasco, faking this crime, I've lost all respect for him.
Well, see,
I'm not gonna lie.
I guess I'm so old school, and I'm from back in the day, because I'm a senior citizen. So I can share with you some things when we talk about people faking crimes. Okay. I know Jesse was lying.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you why I knew he was lying.
Okay.
Do you know how cold it was that night this was
Oh,
supposed to
absolutely.
happen?
It was the polar vortex.
So I knew it was a lie because ain't nobody there's who's gonna be out in weather that's sub-zero
Yep.
trying
And
to
not
commit
only
a
that,
crime?
and who's going to say you're in MAGA country? This is Chicago. We are a democratic city.
Well, wait. We got a few of the MAGAs around here now.
I know, but I mean, come on. Who's going to
Don't
pinpoint him
disrespect.
in the
Don't you
cold weather?
disrespect. Don't you disrespect. Make America great again. Because let me tell you something. They walking around us. Some of them, they live in next door. Some of my best friends.
Right. No, I'm not saying that they're not here, but
Okay.
who is gonna be MAGA and following him at 2 o'clock in the morning because they had to know that he was gonna go out to get a Subway sandwich. Just the whole
Mm-hmm.
story was not plausible. That means they have to be sitting there watching him. He's a great actor and singer, but before this trial even happened, he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really. I wouldn't call him an A-list star. He was kind of up and coming. Really, he's not a Denzel Washington, let's say. Definitely
No,
not.
but I liked him. I liked him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he
I
was he
thought
was
he was
fine.
I thought he was handsome. I thought he was
Yeah,
very,
and he still
very
is. He's still
handsome.
handsome.
And I thought he was very, very talented.
Yep, and I
But
agree with all those things.
okay, but before we get there, we're talking about people faking crimes. Okay,
Yep.
now I'm gonna take you way back down the line, way, 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 way back to probably what I think what 1950 was it 1955, and I'm gonna call her a heifer.
Not a heifer.
When that heifer said Emmett Till did that stuff, that heifer said that he whistled at her.
Yep.
Okay, she said he like made a pass at her. That's what that heifer said.
Yep.
And
And that was
Emmett,
something that happened quite a bit
I
back
know
in
it,
the
but
days as well.
we just
Yep.
talking about people faking crime.
Yep.
Emmett Till lost his life.
Yep.
Okay,
But you know what my answer to that would be
what
is
would he
that
do? She faked the crime, and
no, for sure.
she never went to jail because on her deathbed, that's when she told the truth.
Yep.
Okay, but I'm just saying, people do fake these crimes now, and
Yep.
it's been a lot of black men, it's been a lot of women, it's been a lot of children who have died because somebody faked the crime. I
Yep.
mean, this is nothing new.
It's nothing new.
Okay,
That is true.
it's not new.
And that's a shame, and it's horrible, and it should
It
not
is.
happen. But here is my issue with even bringing that up in the same conversation with Jesse Smollett.
Mhm,
I noticed that we tend to do this,
mhm,
on the liberal Democratic side, and this is something that we really need to stop doing.
mhm,
Is equivocating, okay?
mhm.
Because first of all, just because we want to say, oh well, okay, he faked a crime, it's been established. Oh, but look what they did, they faked a crime. Yes, both those things can be true at the same time, right? That yes, they faked a crime that was horrible. We need political, or we need reform as far as the criminal justice system. That is
Mhm.
absolutely true.
Mhm.
However, that does not
Yeah.
give anyone the right to fake a crime, even if they are African American. He has no right to do that. He did that, and we need to stop making excuses, for our people when we do. If we did something wrong, you know what? Call it what it is. It's wrong, and he should do the time for it. And the fact that
What? But what? Listen.
he didn't even
Go ahead.
admit to what he did.
Go ahead.
And
Mhm.
that even makes it, what do they call it, a an aggravating factor, that he didn't even have the humility to, what's the saying, people, piss on my head and tell me it's raining. It's like, why would we even believe that? His story is not even believable. And here's the other insulting part about it, is that the Osendero brothers, they're immigrants. He was more than willing to throw those two men under the bus just to save his own tail, had because he said, oh well, yeah, well, maybe they did do it. And then those guys, they could have gone to jail, and they could have
But
been
let me tell you
deported.
something. They were in on it. Okay. Wait. Let me say this. Okay. They were in on it. They got
Right, all
paid.
three of them were
They
in
were
on it, but
just
he
as
was willing to throw them under the bus.
I don't care. They were just as guilty as he was.
Okay, but
They took the money.
and that's true. That's very
Okay.
true.
So
But he
so
was
they
still
are just as guilty. They are just as
absolutely. But
guilty.
he was still willing to throw them under the bus and further lie even more, and have them take the rap for what he did. And that was just wrong. I'm sorry. That's
Okay,
wrong. What did they say? Sorry, not sorry.
that's why the name of this show is Opinion.
But and I would just like to even address that whole thing
Uh-huh.
about, as Black people, we have to stop rewarding bad behavior just because it's because we, the person is Black. We do that a lot. We need to, say, hey, this is wrong. And the family, they're so delusional. They keep saying that he's innocent. It's like, let go of that. Nobody believes that. I don't know anyone
But like,
Black that believes
I
that
mean,
Jesse Smollett is innocent.
the lady that said Emmett Till whistled at it. She 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 must have been real delusional because she allowed her husband, and his friends to kill him. And then she waited until right before it was time for her to die
Right. And that was
before she
terrible.
told the truth. And then, you know what? Somebody said, she didn't. Somebody said she didn't say that. You know, I don't know whether she said it or not, but I'm just saying.
But I
This
would
is
not compare the Emmett Till case to
why.
Jesse Smollett, because
Why?
first of all, he has an ego bigger than the room that I'm sitting in. So
Well, I don't know him
and he likes
personally,
to
so
compare
I don't
himself.
know
He
how
called
big.
himself the Black Tupac or the gay Tupac. It's like, come on, dude,
Is that
don't be so full
right?
of yourself. He's too much.
I just figured jail time was and then I read up on the judge. You see, I've always been told this about 4 or 5 years ago. Somebody accused me of going in voting and just checking off on the judges. They said, you don't even know those judges. You don't know anything about them. You should read up on them. And once they told me that, you know what I said? They're kind of right. You have to read up on these judges and find out about them. And so
But you know the problem with this judge though, he's
this
an associate judge, and
he
they're
was.
nominated. He's an associate judge, so he's not elected. He's nominated by other judges.
Well, let me tell you, he's been through the washing machine
Yeah.
because he's got some ugly things that they've said about
Oh,
him.
I agree with
Wait a
you.
minute, not only the public, other judges.
Yeah, but it was a
Okay,
judge, but other judges nominated him. So
even what's her name before Kim Fox became state's attorney? The
oh,
Hispanic lady. I can't think of her name right.
it was Anita something
Alvarez.
Alvarez. Yep.
She even made statements about him, about how he handled sex abuse cases. Okay, where somebody was supposed to go to jail and he turned the case all around.
Right. Right.
Okay,
I mean,
so I mean,
that can be true at the same time, but you have to look at this. The fact that this was a jury trial. I mean, the jury found him guilty. Okay,
the
and the
jury
judge just
found him
sentenced him.
guilty. Okay,
So I mean, the people of Chicago found him guilty. People of the
but
state
the
of
people
Illinois.
of the jury didn't sentence him to 150 days in Cook County
Yeah, but
Jail.
he could have
That
done 3 years.
doggone judge did, and he didn't have to.
But he could have done 3 years for the crime because
He
the maximum is three
listen.
years,
Okay,
and he
so if
never
you
admitted
give
to
me,
it.
so if you give me 30, do you know how 30 months of probation? That's a lot of probation.
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
all you got to do is go out here and sneeze the wrong way.
I mean, I hear you on that, but he never admitted that he lied. That's the problem. He made a fool of the city of Chicago. We spent of our well, I don't live in
No,
Chicago at
no,
the
no, no.
time. I
Wait, wait,
did
wait. Okay,
one
go ahead
hundred
and say
thirty
it. Go
thousand
ahead.
dollars of overtime trying to solve a case that he concocted in his mind
Okay. Let me tell you what happened.
in the middle of what we're having this horrible crime wave.
Hmm.
And now there's I put some onus on city of Chicago and the fact that we are so enamored with Hollywood type. Just because someone's a high profile person, oh, we're going to throw all these resources. At the same time, we have 51 plus Black women that are missing in the city of Chicago. That's not right. How about we talk about that conversation instead of letting celebrities suck up all this money of our resources and taxes that we pay.
Okay, so who do you blame for continuing Jesse Smollett's case after Kim Fox dismissed it? Who do you blame? She says, okay, it's dismissed, it's over
Oh,
with.
let's talk.
Okay, well, wait. No, wait, let me back you up now. I'm gonna let you talk.
Okay.
So you're talking about all the money that was wasted.
Yep.
This was a case that was settled and it was over with. It was a done deal. Kim Fox said it was over and it was a done deal. Who do you blame for throwing away all of that money? Because they threw away some money, sister, on Jesse
Okay.
Smollett that they could have did used on the missing girls. Who do you blame for throwing away that money and going and getting what's his name out of retirement?
Let's talk about Kim Fox before
No,
I
no,
answer.
wait a
No,
minute.
no, but I need to.
I
But,
want you to tell me who do you
okay, but
blame
I
for
need
throwing
to
away
before I answer that
the
question.
money?
Before I answer
Who
that question, let me
okay.
talk about Kim Fox. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, the way that she handled that case was not appropriate. She
Okay.
goes in, she gets him to agree to pay $5,000 restitution and to do
Mm-hmm.
community service. Not
Okay.
only does she do that, she closes and seals the file so that
Okay.
no, the public can't see what was agreed to. Okay. That was her first misstep. And that's why someone came in and said, hey, why would she do this? In the meantime, do you think $5,000 is enough to pay when you have spent $130,000 in overtime for the city of Chicago for these cops to solve this case? She did not make him whole or she didn't make the city of Chicago whole by the $5,000 and sealing the case. So we didn't even know what happened. So as an everyday citizen, that concerns me. I want to know what happened with that trial. Why would you just close it like that and be done with it? And secondly, he never even came clean about his lie. So I'm happy that they opened that up, and I'm happy that they did.
Okay,
They actually
but
did
they
do the
could have
restitution
taken
of
that money.
$130,000.
They could have taken that money, okay, that they
$5,000
wasted.
is nothing. They spent
Wait a
$130,000 to
wait
investigate it.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, how is 5,000? I'm sorry, I'm gonna offer you 5,000 or 130. Which one are you gonna take? And I know you're gonna take the 130,000. 5,000 is nothing for the trouble that he caused this city.
But who reopened the case to spend that excessive money? It definitely wasn't Kim Fox's fault.
No, the 130,000 was spent before it was open.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm not what I'm asking. The name of the show is Opinions. Now
Yep.
you gave me your opinion, and I'm asking a question
Okay,
because
what's
you
the
told
question?
me that they threw away a lot of money, and I agree with you. They threw away a lot of money and a
Before
lot
the
of
case was
time.
reopened, even.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Yep.
They threw away a lot of money and a lot of time on
Yep.
something on where they time that they could have used on other cases.
Absolutely. That's true.
Okay, money that they could have used to do something else with. Okay, but somebody after Kim Fox said it was over and done with, there was somebody who decided no, it's not. We're not gonna let her get away with this. We're gonna open this thing up and we're gonna spend this money. Somebody had to make that decision, and it was not Kim Fox.
Well, thank God they did make that decision, because how dare she close files for the public and for the media to view, because she doesn't want anyone to see it. That was wrong for her to do. And that
Girl,
was
let
her
me
first
see
that was
something.
her first mistake. So she brought the problem upon herself.
Did you know there were some state's attorneys? I was trying to find the article that went to Springfield once she became state's attorney because they didn't like her. And when some people don't like to hear me say political sabotage, but this is what it's all about. I mean, some people can't see it. I guess I don't know. I wear these big old Coke bar glass, and I see the whole circle. And I'm just saying that some state's attorneys have went to Springfield after she became state's attorney, and they wanted it. Whereas if she handled a case and they didn't like the outcome of it, that they could reopen it. Did you know that this was a group of attorneys? I was trying to find this article,
Well,
and
you know what? I'll say this while you look for that, is that, like I said, just this kind of equivocating is something that is not very helpful, right? I mean, that could be true at the same time that, yes, of course she's under a lot of scrutiny, being an African American female. I mean, that is for sure. But that still does not make what she did right. I mean, how could you just close a case the media and everyday
girl, I
people.
heard that there have been cases that we have never heard about, things that have happened that we've never heard
And
about.
that's wrong. I
They
don't care who
Wait
does
a
it. That's
minute.
still
This was
wrong.
before Kim Fox ever took office.
But that's
I'm,
still wrong. That doesn't
I,
mean that she should do that and get away
I'm,
with
I'm,
it.
but I'm just saying, why are we beating her brow? This ain't the first. This is not the first time
Well,
this
hey,
has happened.
and that's true. That's
Okay,
true.
look
And
at all the people that went to Washington on January 6th to overturn the government,
right. And we should be
and
on
a
top
lot
of
of
that as
them are
well.
getting
And we should be on top
probation
of that as
and
well.
never seeing. A lot of them are getting probation,
That's true.
and
That
they are
is true.
never seeing
That's
a
true.
jail time. And when you try to overthrow your government, girl, that's
That's
dangerous.
true. And I'm not. I am not disagreeing with
And
you
then
on
see, he
that.
try to
But
overthrow the
that's
government.
but
He
that
try to
still
overthrow
doesn't
the
make what she
government.
did with Jesse Smollett right. And that's my point. My point is that she bungled the case, and she should have never closed that file, and she should have let it go to trial, like it eventually did go to trial. She should have let it go to. She didn't do anyone any favors.
Okay, so the city of Chicago wasted a lot of money that we could have done something else with.
Yep.
But Kim Fox didn't waste that money. I want everybody to know Kim Fox didn't waste the money.
Yeah, but
Somebody else did.
she obscured our right to be able to see what happened in that case, or she tried to. Eventually, she didn't succeed. So, I hope that in her tenure that she won't
So
try
you,
doing something like that again. I'm sure she won't,
so
and I
you
don't think she's
think
going to
the
be
judge?
reelected.
So you think the judge was fair in giving him 150 days in the
I
Cook
think he
County
was. I
jail?
think he could have gotten 3. He could have gotten 3 years. Yep,
Wow.
I think he was fair, and he's lucky he didn't get longer.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Girl, I need a drink.
I just do you think it was fair that Jesse Smollett never came clean about his lie? He still
If
continued
Jesse
to this day
Smollett
lie about
believe,
it.
let me tell you something. If you believe in something, you better believe in it. You understand?
Even if it's
When
a
you
lie?
listen, when you
Uh-uh.
believe in something, you believe in it. And
Okay,
evidently,
but there's no such thing as believing in a lie. I mean, a lie is a lie and will always be a lie. And that makes him a liar.
well, the
So,
woman that believed that Emmett Till whistled at him, she believed it,
and she was a liar.
but she
And
believed it,
and she was a liar, and she should have been
and
punished
she
for
never
it.
went to jail.
Well, and she is a
She
liar.
died.
And she was a liar, and that still doesn't change the fact that she was a liar. And that was even worse because that was a more serious,
Yeah,
crime.
and
But
then I
getting
just
back
read
to
an
him, he
article.
lied. He lied.
And I posted it. Over in Indiana, there was a young man. He was hanged from a tree, I think, with his hands tied behind his back. And the coroner, this has been 100 years ago, the coroner ruled his death a suicide. I'm going to pull this article. The coroner ruled his death, say he committed suicide. Now he had his hands tied behind his back. Black man's death in Indiana ruled a lynching now, nearly 100 years later. His name was George Tompkins. He was found hanging from a tree with his hands bound behind his back in Indianapolis, Indiana, in 1922. And his death was initially ruled a suicide.
Okay, and that was 100 years ago. Yep.
So, but I'm just saying
But
all
how
of
does
this.
I don't understand the connection with Jesse
Well,
Smollett. What does that have
I'm
to do
just
with him?
okay. What I'm trying to say to you is these things that are happening are not. With Jesse Smollett, he lied. These things are not new. 100
Okay,
years
but
ago.
that's my point is that he lied. It was something that did not happen. We know that lynching happened because the person is dead. Okay,
No,
Jesse
wait a
Smollett.
minute.
If you know that
We
he
know
lied
that
about
a
it,
hundred years ago they said he committed suicide. We know when Emmett Till got lynched, they said he whistled at a white woman.
okay, but we
But all
these
of them lies. All
okay,
of them
but
lies.
these two things should not even be compared to Jesse Smollett.
Why?
It was
They're
because
lies.
it's verifiable that he lied.
How is it
Okay.
verifiable? I wasn't there.
Well, I mean, because the jury found him guilty. Nobody believes the story.
So you
You don't
believe
even
that
believe
every
the
time a
story.
jury finds somebody guilty, they're guilty?
You see that because it's preposterous what he even said happened. Everybody knows that it didn't go down like
That's
that.
why I'm really liking this conversation. So do you believe that every time a jury say you are guilty, a jury say you are guilty of a crime, if you have a jury trial, you are actually guilty?
No, what
Uh,
I'm saying is that Jesse Smollett lied. The
mhm.
jury found him guilty. The court of public opinion found him guilty.
The
None
court
of
of
us
public
believe.
opinion
None of
don't
us.
mean
Okay, but then the jury means something then too.
the court of.
I don't believe he lied. You believe he lied.
Wait a minute. I did say I'm very honest in that.
No, I know. So
I do
then how
believe
can you say that he lied and then
because
you think that
I
he doesn't deserve to be
believe
punished
that
for that?
giving him I didn't say that he didn't lie. I said he lied. I said to give him 150 days in the Cook County jail.
So what do you think he should have gotten then?
He should have just let him have his probation. This man has never been in, he has never committed a crime. He has never been in trouble.
Although he wasted 130,000 of your tax dollars.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he
The
did.
city of Chicago and those Republicans wasted
Well, there was a lot
$130,000
of
of
pressure
my
on them to
tax
solve the
money.
case because he's a celebrity. So they had to spend the money.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Well,
They're trying. Listen, they're
yes, they did
trying.
because had they not fully investigated, then his lie would have been, probably believed, and then he would have gotten
They
off.
are trying to make an example out of Kim Fox, and you'll find this out at election time. And I hope she runs, because I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna take these old arthritic legs and feet out there, and
She's
I'm
Cook
gonna.
County, right?
Yeah, I live in Cook County.
Yeah, no, I'm
I'm
saying
gonna.
Cook. I'm not voting for her.
I'm
Just
gonna
so
vote
you
for
know,
it. I'm gonna vote for it. I'm gonna tell everybody to vote for it
I am
because
not voting for her.
all of this is
She's
nothing
not
but.
gonna win though.
Don't never say that. Never say never.
Well, I hope she doesn't
Well, you
because
hope she doesn't, and I
nope.
hope she do.
I don't support her. I think that aside from this, to me, this case really should have even received the attention that it got. They should have just let it go to trial, let a jury of his peers, like it eventually did, and found him guilty, and then sentence him, and not have this media circus surrounding with his family acting a damn fool in front of the cameras. They should have just let that go. But I'm not even talking about for this the reason I don't think she should be reelected. I look at the crime, all these criminals that are being let go, and then they say, "Oh, the judge didn't let it go." No, she didn't make a strong case to keep these people behind bars, and our crime has gotten like totally out of control. So she's done. We need
You
somebody
don't know
that can
what
stand up to the
you
task.
don't know why the crime is totally out of control.
Well, there's many reasons for it, but I just know she's not keeping people locked up. She's not
Okay,
creating a strong enough
but you
case for
don't know
them.
why the crime in the city of Chicago is totally out of
Oh, there's a
control.
lot of reasons for this crime to be, and this is not something that's new. It's been happening for many, many years. This is a 50-year-old, if not longer, problem. So, but what I'm saying is that she has not added to the solution. So, and right now we
And
need
none of the
solutions.
other lawmakers did, and none of the other lawmakers did either, right?
Well, and some of them also need to go. I'm focusing on her
No.
for the time. I'm not saying that she's the reason for all of our problems. That would be
Oh, Kim,
irrational.
I bet your ears are burning.
Who, Kim Fox?
Uh,
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And trust me, I'm not the only one that says this.
no. I mean, I'm quite sure there are a lot of other people that say that, but I
That-
just believe that. I just believe that there's a lot of political sabotage, not only in her office, in other offices too. I don't believe she's the only one that you know. I mean, Tony Predwinkle, they probably doing some things to her, but right now everybody's focuses on Kim Fox.
yeah, and here's the issue with the city of Chicago. Just like we talked about, it's an old problem. The whole issue with crime. There's so many disparities on between, like, let's say the southwest and north sides. You have one community that gets, because of wealth or whatever. They get all the resources. You have people that have been, redlined for many, many years. You have a lot of a lot of politicians that are, pocketing a lot of the money. These aldermen, they get these stipends. They don't put anything back into the community. Even within the community, the so-called churches, they don't really help. I mean, they receive, especially a lot of these really big churches, and just an enormous amount of money. They don't put anything back into the system. So it's just the finger can be pointed to many, many people. And the problem is that, I don't know if now maybe Harold Washington could have done something. Unfortunately, he died. There's some debate on whether he was, murdered or not. That I'm not even going to touch. But the truth of the matter is that all these mayors that have been in the office, including Lorie Lightfoot, have not done anything to change the problem. It's gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is,
well, you remember when Harold was in, they had that Badoliak, and he signed it with the prison.
Oh yeah, they had the council wars.
They had the Badoliak 29 led by Ed Badoliak and Ed Burke.
Yep.
You remember them?
Yep, absolutely.
All
I
right.
do.
They were not gonna let Harold do nothing.
Yep.
If Harold did something, they said, ain't happening.
So now a lot of that power structure has left. I mean, because there were a lot of probably descendants of different immigrants that were living, probably, from European immigrants. You had the what is the Irish Americans and Czech and Polish and all
Irish
that.
People, weren't they?
What's that?
Weren't the Dailies?
Yeah, they were Irish as well. Yeah. But that political structure has kind of changed, because as they've kind of died off and their descendants have moved out, now it's turning really into a kind of a black, white, Hispanic sort of
They've never left. They've never left. Right now they're just quiet because the city of Chicago is being ran by some African American.
Right, but their numbers have
still here. Listen, they are still here, and I'm going to tell you why they're here.
Their numbers have greatly decreased. But I guess, my point on that, let me just finish making my point. Mm-hmm. My point is that because this power structure has changed, and you look at like the South and the West sides, you have like a lot of Mexican people that are moving into, historically black communities. That's why a lot of these aldermen, they want another, I think maybe 2 more seats. And then you have the Chinese also. We can't forget about them. Their population has increased in Chicago. So they want to have more power. So, you have these aldermen that are kind of vying for, more power, which means more money, that the everyday citizens are not really seeing, the benefit of having any funds go to redeveloping communities. And the Black community is the one that suffers the most, because our population is decreasing in the city of Chicago.
And we suffer because our representation don't give up about us.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Okay.
All they care about is lining their pockets.
You say, they take that money and they fix up certain neighborhoods, like the West Loop. If you ever been downtown, I mean, it's going on. Okay.
Yep.
But when you come out in the neighborhood, it tells a different story.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? And I'm always picking on him. What's it? Richard Burnett, alderman. Part of his ward is the West Loop, and part of his ward is East Garfield Park. And both of those couldn't be a better picture of disparity in the whole city than anything else that I can think of. You go to East Garfield Park, I mean, some changes have been made, but it's terrible if you compare it to the West Loop. But guess what? He's spending all his energy and resources on developing the West Loop because, that's where all the money is. And he can, line his pocket, and he's putting this, I think they get $1 million stipend per year. What has he put into that? He's done really nothing to help the community. So these aldermen many of them are just so corrupt to the bone.
They get more than 1 million. They get some million.
And it's disgusting. Like, what have they put into it? And we're dealing with the same problems year after year.
They tell you when they're running for office what they're gonna do. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And I be doggone if they don't get that in office, and they get up in the bed with the rest of the dogs and come out with the same fleas.
Absolutely.
They come out with the same fleas, and they do the same thing.
Yep. And
Nothing.
the children of the communities suffer for it. That's why you have all these youth,
Absolutely.
getting a hold of these guns, and
Yeah.
they're just so upset and frustrated in their own lives. I mean, it's, and people wonder, oh well, it's terrible. And I mean, yes, I think they need to be tough on crime, but there has to be some sort of a approach where, like I said, people are just so focused on just one thing. It's like, okay, we can handle crime, be tough on the perpetrators, but you have to put some programs in there so that people don't keep repeating the cycle. And we've just, like I said, every politician in the city of Chicago has done a very poor job of making sure that that we fight this issue.
But have you ever thought about? You made an interesting point about him getting a hold of guns and different things. You know, and they get the listen. They change the gun laws, okay, but they get the guns even easier now. There's something behind. I don't know what's behind it, but there's got to be something behind it. There's got to be a reason
You know
that
what's
this is
behind it? What I
happening.
think,
What?
what's behind is desperation.
That's what it is.
If
But I'm,
you
I'm talking about. But I'm talking about a 15, 16. No, let's start at 13, okay? Because the reason I say let's start at 13, I'm thinking about an interview that I did the last two Fridays with Raymond Richards, who is now a grown man and he has really become who he is. But at 11 years old, he was a gangbanger. At 11 years old. So I'm going to say children that are the young boys, I don't know if they probably have girl gangs too, but I'm just saying 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. They can't buy guns. They cannot buy guns.
Yep.
Somebody's buying the guns for them.
Yep.
And
So okay.
okay.
So that gets back to my point though, is
Mhm.
that I think that we're kind of wrongheaded in facing or focusing on, let's say, the guns, for example, because I mean, yes, that obviously, we don't want to have children buying guns, but you have to look at the family structure once again. If you have a strong family structure,
Mhm.
you have parents. I mean, whether it's a single, you know, uh, parent home or two parent home, if you have a strong parent that is really making sure that they are keeping track of what their kids are doing and they're able to provide for them and spend time with them, you're not going to have them out in the streets where these gangbangers get a hold of them and become kind of authority figures for them because they have a family. We need to focus on really the families and developing the families, because I feel by doing that, you know, the whole situation with guns, not that it will go away, but it will definitely improve. I mean, because just let's look at the north side. Okay, let's look at a north side community. We'll take Jefferson Park, for example. You have a lot of families, two parent homes, economically stable. They're not getting a hold of the kind of guns that, let's say, somebody on the south side or kids on the south side are getting. Why? Because they have more um, you know, uh, prosperity. They're in neighborhoods that are prosperous. They have more of a social network that will take care of them, so they don't have to worry about a lot of the things of where their next meal is coming from or where they're going to live. They have parents in the household. So unless, I think that this, as far as getting a hold of guns, that's a symptom of a much bigger problem that we have to address, because you could
And
take
if
off,
that
you
and
could.
if their kids got a hold of a gun, we wouldn't know about it. No way, because they stupid on
Right.
the
But
way.
I'm just saying though, it's like you could take all the guns off the street. If people are in a frame of mind where they're gonna be harming themselves or harming others, they'll use whatever to do it. So it's all about what's up here and addressing the emotional issues. And another thing too is African Americans, we have a lot of unaddressed trauma, and trauma is a insidious thing. You think you're okay, but really you're not, because you haven't addressed those issues. So there's a lot of things that we are uniquely positioned as a group of people that
Mhm.
we've had trauma, just even from inherited trauma from slavery times, and then from redlining and racism and all that kind of stuff. That's obviously that's going to have an effect on people, and especially if especially within the city of Chicago, a lot of the middle class Black people have moved out. We've lost population, so a lot of the people that are in some of these neighborhoods don't have necessarily the financial wherewithal to be able to go see a counselor or something like that. It's just not financially viable for them to do it.
I just say this whole system. I don't know. I just believe that there's a problem with the whole system.
There is. I agree with you that
Mhm.
it's broken.
Yeah,
It's
definitely,
broken, and I don't.
definitely.
And to be honest with you, it's always been broken. I mean, just from the inception of our of our country and the way that we started. So, it's almost like you need to kind of. I'm not saying tear it completely down, but I mean it needs some restructuring. We'll just say that. There's a lot of things that are wrong with it.
I didn't mean to get quiet. I was looking for something,
Oh,
and
okay. So
I don't.
yeah, so I don't know. I think that I think we need to start with our politicians, and really just the concept of these career politicians. I have a problem with that too. You look at people like Danny Davis,
Mhm,
Bobby Rush. I mean, how long are you going to be in office, and what have they done really to improve our lives? I mean, that's kind of the question. And have they been effective? That's
mhm,
another
mhm,
question. And then if they haven't been, like, why do we keep reelecting them year after year? Is it that people just don't care and they don't vote? Which I'm kind of thinking that might be it. Maybe they're worried about their own day-to-day life, and that's the last thing, or they just vote for them out of habit. Some people are lifelong, let's say, Democrats, and they've always voted Democrat. And
mhm,
you know, I don't know. I mean, I used to call myself a Democrat. I mean, obviously, I
mhm,
have left leaning political views, but
mhm,
I don't know. Just the more that I see, the more I feel like I'm I'm probably more of an independent than anything else, because
mhm,
I feel that it, like any party, they just want to what do they say, toe the party line, and just whatever is the fashionable thing to say for that party, they do it, but then they don't really show any they forget about the people, which are the ones that put them in
I just
office.
don't. I just think they have a way. Both parties have a way of lying.
Have a way of lying. Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Lying. They will. I mean,
Yep.
and some of the lies that they make up, you they just don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You
So
know.
that's why it's kind of frustrating. And I think that you have a lot of young people that are the ones that are politically aware are starting to realize that. I follow a it's a podcast and also YouTube, Young Turks. Actually, I think they're on cable TV as well.
Yeah, I love them. I
Yeah,
love them. I
and
love
and I
them.
and you know what, I really appreciate them, because I mean, obviously, they're progressive, left leaning, and all that, but they have no problem pointing out the missteps of Democrats as well as Republicans. They call it like they see it.
They will call a spade in
Call
a
a spade a
minute.
spade.
That's right. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think that
Absolutely.
as Black people, we need to start, instead of and I think, like I said, a lot of younger people, I think, are really starting to question things, instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm a Democrat," and just going with whatever BS the party is it's proclaiming. Ask questions. It doesn't
I
hurt to ask
agree.
questions.
I agree. I agree. And then another thing, and then we're gonna. I want to, before we leave, I want to ask you. I just read this article today
Okay.
where 50 Cent gave Monique a job. Uh,
Oh, he
um,
did.
Girl,
She
yeah,
hasn't
she's
worked
gonna
in a
be on.
while.
What is that thing that he does? 50 Cent, his show. Hold on.
Oh yeah, I think he does have a show.
It's called. It's right on the tip of my tongue. His show is called.
Oh, is it Power?
Power.
Power.
Yeah, you know how you get you can't think when you want to talk about something.
Yeah, and actually, I think they have Power, and then there's Power 2. I think there's a couple of Ghost. Yeah, Power 2 is Ghost.
Okay. Well, anyway, so Monique is gonna start appearing on there.
Oh, good, very
But
good. It'll be good to see her.
he called out Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry
Mm,
to apologize to Monique
wow.
because she always said that. be- I don't know. I guess she felt like she wasn't going, you know, get nobody.
Yep. She believes in standing in what she believes in. Yep.
You know.
And
And because she did, after she won her Oscar, she did very little work. Usually, after you win an Oscar, baby, you are one hot number.
yep,
Yeah.
that's true.
So I read this article where as he is calling them out and telling them to apologize and that they should put up, she needs to go back to work
Yep.
because she's a very talented individual. And I mean, they shouldn't look at, I mean, her beliefs are her beliefs. Look at her talent, what she does.
Yep.
If she's a good actor, she's a good actor. But I mean, she's entitled to believe and speak her piece and have her own mind. You don't
Yep.
blackball her for something like that.
And see, so here's the other thing, and I'm about to go on a tangent with this.
Okay, come on
so
with it.
so
I love it when you
pardon me,
do. I love
pardon
it
me while
when
I
you
get revved
do.
up. But there is a a, a black political structure in Hollywood
Mm,
that states you have to toe the line and believe whatever it is that they say, and you can't go outside of that. And this actually, to kind of make go full circle, is kind of like what happened with Jesse Smollett. Okay,
oh,
you have uh the Hollywood elite, the black Hollywood elite, and if you don't believe what they say, so everyone says, because you have, and these are actors that I love. You have Alfie Woodard, Alfie
well, I
Woodard.
bet they can't do nothing with Samuel L. Jackson and
You have
Denzel Washington.
no. Let me just say this: you have Alfie
Okay.
Wood, you have Sammy Jackson. They wrote in Jesse Jackson, which he's not necessarily Hollywood, but he's a black
Mhm.
celebrity, or has a celebrity status. They both wrote letters for Jesse Smollett.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's what I mean. I guess what I'm saying is that you have to politically walk in lockstep with what they agree. So that was the
You got to
agenda. The
kiss their hand in so many words.
Right, but you can't deviate from anything that they say because they have a problem with you. Just, I mean, so you look at what happened with Monique. She deviated from whatever the lockstep opinion was supposed to be. And so what did she do? Oh, she got blackballed. She can't have an opinion. So there's no room for, if someone, let's say, if they're if they're on the political right side, then you get blackballed for doing that, for having an opinion. And I think that that's wrong. And yeah, they do owe her an apology.
I think that is so wrong. I thought it was all about your talent. You
Yep.
know,
Nope. It's,
I
you know
mean,
what, it's like a sorority and a fraternity. It
if you
really
think about
is.
what was the lady's name that did Hattie McDaniel?
Yep.
She she got the first
The Gone
Oscar,
with
right?
Gone with the Wind.
Did she?
Hmm.
No, no. You was it Gone with the Wind? Yeah,
I
she
think
got the
that's,
first.
didn't she played the maid, I believe,
Yeah, she
right?
got the first. She got the first Oscar, right?
Yep.
You know that she wasn't allowed to attend the dinner,
Yeah, and
and
that's disgusting.
okay. So
Yep.
I mean, why? That makes me think back. Like your set of African Americans, you're supposed to be cohesive, sticking together because everybody else does.
Yeah. And here's the other thing that I think is
Mhm.
that, you know, as African Americans, we always like to use a black celebrity as an example of something, but what we need to remember is that once African Americans get to that celebrity status,
Mm-hmm.
they no longer are can relate to the everyday struggle of what we go through. I don't want to say they're not black. I mean, of course they're still black, but as far as relatability, they're on a whole different level. So I would never ever compare myself or anyone that I personally know in my life to anyone in Black Hollywood, because
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just like us, even getting back to this Jesse Smollett,
Mm-hmm.
thing. I mean, many of us, regular everyday African Americans, we may have relatives that are in 26 in California jail doing time for something that, and can't even get a trial, and they're in there indefinitely. These people, they don't know anything about that. They have money. They can, pay people off. And I think what really stuck in their craw about this Jesse Smollett thing is that he was not able to use his money and celebrity to get out of something that he rightfully did, but he couldn't get out of it. They think they can use their money to do that. So it's just it's
I
almost
don't,
like
I
it's two
don't, I
different
don't
worlds.
think, I don't think that it's money. I just think that, this is my opinion. And the reason I say that, I just think it's a judge. I think the judge, I don't know, if you go back and play what the judge said before he sentenced him.
Oh, he
I mean,
excoriated him.
oh, he just went crazy.
He escort, but he didn't lie about anything. Everything
I
he said
thought
was
the
true.
judge, girl, I thought the judge had something in his cup.
He called him a charlatan, but
I'm
I agreed with everything the judge said, though. I could
and, but,
not.
and I'm going to tell you, there's it's not Jesse Smollett, because the young man who directed the Black Panther, the young man that directed the Black Panther, and I've been banking at Bank of America for umpteen. I can't
Who?
tell you.
About Fred Hampton.
No, no, his
Oh,
name is Ryan.
oh, you talking about the movie, The Black Panther?
Yeah,
Okay,
because we're talking about movie stars.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I've been banking at Bank America. I know for over 20 some years, maybe 30. This young man goes into the bank and he wants to draw $10,000 or $12,000, but he doesn't want to cause attention, you know, where everybody's, in on what he's doing. So he
Right.
gives her a withdrawal slip. Okay, he gives this teller, and by the way, she was African American. A withdrawal slip, and he tells her that he wants to draw this money. And on the back of it, he writes a note on how he wants it, so that when she's at the counter, you know how they count it all out,
Right.
and anybody could be watching.
Right.
Okay,
That's true.
this Annie Mae calls the
Not anyway.
I like to make jokes. Now I hope y'all don't take this. Don't get crazy with me, because I'm telling the story, but I have to put some fun in it. She calls the police and tells them he's robbing the bank.
Oh my God.
They
What an
come
idiot.
they come in, he's standing at the counter, right? And they're making all these excuses. Oh, your money will be there in a minute, da da da. You know how they do it. Girl, the next thing you know, he got handcuffs on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they took him outside. And they had to apologize. Now, why come a black man can't go in the bank and draw out $12,000?
And the interesting part about this story is that it was a black woman that
Yes,
did
that's
that,
why I called
which
her
also
Annie Mae.
shows that we're kind of indoctrinated in our own self hate and self questioning. So
Why come
that's a
he
problem.
couldn't? Why come he couldn't be? I know. Listen, I know some black men who could go in the bank and draw out $12,000. I actually think no one I can call on the phone. I know three that they could, and they have that kind of money.
Right, but it's because she believes the myth that has been kind of uh long standing in society, that black people are not successful. So shame
I
on her.
Right. I have a brother that didn't know how to Zelle, right?
Mm.
And he's one of them people that could go to the bank and draw out $12,000 in cash and think nothing of it and have plenty more left.
Yep.
But you know what I did? Girl, I told him to get on his computer and we did a FaceTime and I taught him how to Zelle.
Ah, good for you.
And the reason being, I mean, this hadn't happened. This was I taught him how to do this
Before
about
that.
5 years ago. But because of stuff just like this, you may not be able to sell 12. He might not be able to sell 12,000, but he might be able to do it five at a time. What I'm saying,
Right.
but stuff like this. I mean, because he's just an everyday person, okay? And you go in with your withdrawal slip, and you have instructions on how you want your money. Because you know, in the bank, I mean, I've gone in there and got $1,000, and they just count the money out. And, you don't want everybody to see it. I used to stick my money in an envelope. You ain't got to count it.
Yep.
I don't want to draw no attention because now we could walk out the door and it could be somebody standing outside to tell you get that money or somebody in the bank. And then
Oh, that happens. I mean, that happened here in my town. Actually, the second day that I moved into my house, I actually witnessed someone basically being mugged at the Chase Bank, and they took the guy. Yeah, actually, let me just tell it more accurately. I did not witness. I found out what happened. However, I did see two young men running away from the chase. One had a gun in his hand, and the other one had money and was counting it. They hopped in the car and they drove off. So I went out to see what happened, and sure
you
enough,
actually went to be nosy.
oh yeah, I'm one of those nosy neighbors. I wanted to see what was happening in my community. So I went out, and the police were there at that time, and the victim was there, and then the victim didn't even want to report it. Isn't that something? That's another thing that happens in neighborhoods as well. Nobody wants to say anything, which is a problem.
Yeah, I listen. I even know. I'm just sitting here. I even know of a young lady that could go to the bank and probably draw out $12,000 or $15,000 in cash. So I mean, there are. I mean, don't think need to get it out of our mind that every time somebody comes in the bank and they are a person of color and they said that they give you a deposit slip and they give you their ID and he even put his card in the machine.
Yeah, but see, there's two things that society needs to get that out of their heads, but us as African Americans need to get that out of our heads too. Because you said that she happened to be black. That's almost even worse.
So I
It's like,
called
come
her
on.
Annie Mae.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have I called it. What's that other one they call them?
Karen, perhaps.
I didn't want to say it. You said it.
Yeah, so it's just yeah, as a society in general, we need to stop stereotyping and typecasting
Yeah,
people.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, looks like we're up at the hour mark here,
Yeah, I
so
mean, it was a very nice I mean, that was just made up conversation. Brian
yes.
Hendricks. Next Friday. I mean, listen to me, Friday, girl. Next Tuesday.
Yes, we look forward to having Brian Hendricks on and
All
giving us
right.
a little insight on the finance world.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Friday, I will be right here with a conversation with Brother Raymond.
Always a good show, very interesting.
I don't even know
I'd
what we're
love to get
talking
his
about
take
this
on the
time.
Jesse Smollett situation.
You know what? I might send him a text message.
Yes, yeah.
And
I might
ask
have to call
him.
into that show.
Okay, I might send him a text. You know why? And he would be great at it. You know why? Because he was the one at 11 years old, girl, when he was sitting up, when he told me his story. I
Mm.
told him at 11 years old, you just begin to smell yourself.
Yep.
You know, you just
Mm-hmm.
you just begin to really recognize that you're a man. You're different,
Absolutely.
okay?
That's
And you
true.
all talking about you're a gang.
Mm-hmm.
He would be great to talk about that. And
Yep.
He's been up in there and he knows people because sometimes when I'm doing his show, he gets called in from jail. So that, Lorie, you have given me a great idea. I hope it works.
I hope so. Hey, I'll be listening either way.
All right. Hey, everybody, you have been listening to Opinions with
Lorie Williams, aka Opinionated Lorie.
and Katie Lowe, and we thank you so much for tuning in. So we will see you next Tuesday with,
Brian Hendricks.
all right. So everybody have a nice weekend and get out and enjoy this wonderful weather.
See you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.